Hello, Steve White, Steve House 89. Well, I watched A Friend of the Family last night, the TV series and the documentary. This is a true story, and I had heard about the story years ago. It's one of the most bizarre stories of grooming and abuse that you'll ever hear. Basically, this girl was convinced by this man, friend of the family, that she was part extraterrestrial, that she was from an alien race, and that they had been abducted by aliens and that they'd been selected to breed, to create a hybrid baby between human and half alien, to save this alien race. And if she didn't do it, and they didn't do it by 16, her family would basically die. If she talked to anyone or told anyone, they'd die. If she touched a boy or touched her father, she'd be vaporized. He convinced her that she was literally an alien and that her family wasn't her family because she was not of this earth. And this began when she was like 9. Now in the TV show it looks more like she's 10 or 12, and they really gloss over the sexual element of the abuse. He started assaulting her from the time she was 9 or 10, and it ran all the way through until it ended when she was 17. In the TV show, it implies that they only had relations once. Now, given apparently the parents had her checked out by a doctor after the first sort of kidnapping, and they said that her hymen was intact and there was no sign of sexual anything, which doesn't make any sense, although there are other ways, of course, to have relations with someone other than vaginal. So it's just the whole story is confusing and strange. Basically, it's fairly simple. There's a small town. They're all religious, and that's the beginning of the problem. Basically, these people are totally vulnerable because of their religion, because they trust, because they believe, because they don't require proof, because they, all these religions are a law unto themselves. So external laws don't matter, science doesn't matter, none of this stuff matters to people, which is part of the problem, and part of the problem with America, why so many people are now brainwashed and following the orange fascist, because they've all been raised in this religious sort of mentality, and they don't require proof, they don't believe science, it's a mess. And this film is an example of that, and how if you basically raise your children with religion, you're basically handing them up, for abuse, because they're just primed for it. And it's really tragic, because these people are not bad people, they are naive, and they should be able to exist in a world with that level of naivety without being preyed upon. But reality is they were, and it's pretty tragic, because he didn't just abuse the daughter, he also had sex with both the parents, and then used that against them, both personally and legally, to ruin them. And it's just a really disturbing story. So he basically kidnaps this girl for 38 days, convinces her that she's an alien, and then spends the next 4 or 5 years trying to get the parents to allow him to marry her so he can't be charged with abuse. And she believes she has to do it or her family will die. And it's not until that he starts to look at her sister that she starts to realize that it's fake, and she eventually sees that it's fake, and she touches a boy and doesn't vaporize, and then she starts just ignoring him. And you find out later that although after he abandoned her, he just went on and moved on to another family and another girl, sadly. And in the documentary, she actually meets the other girl, and she knew about her, and it's very disturbing. But the good part about how it ends is that eventually this guy shows up because her mother and her wrote a book about abuse, and they started a foundation and they changed a law in Iowa, I think it was, to get rid of the statute of limitations for abuse for children, which is great. But eventually he shows up at one of her book talks with a gun, and he gets arrested, and he gets charged, and he gets found guilty, and he actually was supposed to go to jail, but he killed himself before he went to jail. So the good thing is he's dead. And now she can tell a story about him trying to... He actually tried to say in the press when they came out with the book that it was consensual and he didn't do anything wrong, and it's just sick. I understand how sick these predators are, and how manipulative they are. But these people were extra strength naive, and like I said, they were just primed for this because of their religious sort of upbringing and lifestyle. But yeah, it's a disturbing tale. It's a bizarre tale. I felt guilty because I had a lot of judgment of her because I felt like she should have known this was fantasy. You know, like not when she was 9 and it started, but when she was 14, 15, 16, 17. She really didn't get it until it sort of ended. And it's just bizarre. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.